Welcome to the Conquer Risk podcast. I'm your host, Christopher Norton. We loved having Patrice Kelly on our podcast so much, we decided to bring her back. Only this time, we're not going to talk about marketing. We're going to make it all about her. So, Patrice, welcome back.
Hey, hey.
This is, I think, like the fifth time we've ever spoken. So are you ready for me to ask you some intensely personal questions?
Heck yeah, let's do it.
Excellent. Why don't we start with a softball? What is your idea of perfect happiness?
Ooh. Well, hmm. Okay, I'm not going to try to think too long. I've been a mom since I was 21. So, perfect happiness for me these days would look like a vacation where I can just sit around and watch anime all day and eat good food and hang out at the beach.
That sounds fantastic. And
Yep.
I've only been a parent for the last 10 years. So
Yes.
I'm in. All right. Well, let's flip the script on that question. What is your greatest fear?
Greatest fear.
Nothing but easy questions, really.
Losing a child.
Yeah. I would
It's just like
concur.
for one of the hard things about being a parent is, especially my kids are 20, 13, and 11. And with the 20-year-old, this is my first go round with, like, wow, I can only give you advice now.
Yeah.
And the way you conduct your life, the decisions you make, whew, all that's on you. And, like I remember, we remember being that age
Yeah.
and how much we thought we knew and how much risk we took and all of that. But it is very scary being on the other side of that and watching your kid, like, and you can't do anything about it. You're just like, oh my God, like, keep him, like, keep him safe. And, and like, hopefully nothing, terrible happens and he can navigate life. And so, like, and then like having to think through that, like, wow, and I gotta go through that like 2 more times. So yeah, that's a lot.
I'm not ready for that. So I will probably be calling when I get closer and asking you for advice because I
We gotta
can't
stick
even
together, man. It's tough.
I can't even fathom that one. The other thing that I've noticed too is that some of the decisions that I made earlier on, I've started to realize what the repercussions of that will be. Like, I have a classic car and I made a deal with my son that because he got super interested in it, and it was never something I was going to
Mhm,
push on him, but he got super interested in
mhm,
it. And so I said, well, I'll tell you what, make you a deal. You continue to work on it with me over the next few years. And then
mhm.
when you turn 16, I'm going to buy you the ugliest 80s 5-speed piece of junk rusting Honda that I can find that you aren't ever going to get a date in. And if you can show me, number one, you got to learn how to drive a stick. Number two, you show me you can take care of it, that you're responsible with it, that you don't do anything stupid, I'll give you the classic car. And he was like, done,
Oh.
done. And I'm thinking, this is great parenting. He's going to learn responsibility. He's going to do all these things. And then I'm like tracking through my head and I'm like, I don't mind the risk myself, but I'm going to put my kid in a classic car that has, I mean, forget about like airbags and stuff. It doesn't even have seat belts. Nothing. Nothing. They didn't make those yet. I'm like, what am I doing?
Hindsight, boy,
So,
that thing is a kicker.
so
Yeah.
I'm living with that, and I can't think about the level that you're on because I'm not there yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. A fun question. What is your greatest extravagance?
Um, the first thing that came to my head is I'm an avid anime fan. I guess you can see all in the back, and I got my little katana. um, so I did drop a couple G's on a custom pair of anime Nike Air Force Ones, custom painted.
Oh, very
So
cool.
yes, I
That's
have
rad.
them right here in
You
my little
you
case, and like
you'll
it
have
was
to send us a picture so we can put it
yes,
with the yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I'm very,
That's super
I mean,
rad.
I'm very picky, so
Mm-hmm.
you know, like it was a big deal. So I love them though.
That's
I've only worn them
that is
twice,
oh, very special
only twice.
occasions. Okay.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
very special occasions. It's like art, really. Yeah, to me.
No,
But
that's fair. Art you can
hmm
wear, as it were.
yep, yep.
Uh all right. Well, maybe this is a timely question. On what occasion do you lie?
Oh. Whew. Hmm. Um, when my dad comes over, he's older. He's 80.
Okay.
And he asked me, like, do I want, he's in this age now where it's like everything is, he's trying to give everything away. He's like, do you want, I got some flowers over here. You want me to bring them over? Or yeah, I'm gonna cook me some meatloaf and I just don't have, y'all want some meatloaf? And I'm like, yeah, daddy, bring it on over. It's fine, it's great. But I don't want the meatloaf, dude. Like, I don't like, and then it's like, did you eat
That's
the meat?
magnificent.
Oh, how were the beans that I cooked? They were great. Like they're sitting in the back of the refrigerator, and I'm like, we're gonna throw those out.
That is that might be the best answer anyone's ever given me to that question. I love it. I love it.
Oh man,
Well,
love you, daddy.
yeah, maybe don't send him this one. Just leave it out.
That's funny.
Okay, so other than the great Robert Sophia, what living person do you most admire?
Dang it, that is. Why do I not? I'm like, I need to think through my what? Who do I? Hmm.
There's got to be somebody I like.
Yeah, who do I like and why? um, I think it's because I feel pressure to say something profound. I'm just say like,
Let me make this easier for you. This is the
okay,
Counter Risk podcast.
okay.
There couldn't be less pressure.
Now I'm on NBC Dateline. Let's see. I think I'm going to say, Andrew Davis, because every time I see him speak, I am just like in super awe of the fact that it's like 45 minutes. It never feels like 45 minutes. I'm like engaged the entire time he's talking. Like I read his book called The Referable Speaker, and there's like this formula, and you can kind of like once you know it, like you can point out kind of
Interesting.
how he does his speeches and things like that. But it's just like to keep someone entertained and also, like give them that kind of knowledge for that long. I mean, it's a long time. He's just really, really good. So, and he's a
He
great guy
is
too.
he is incredibly engaging. Like
Hmm.
there's yeah. So that's very
And
cool. I
45
like that.
minutes is so long. Like I
It's
mean,
a long time. It's a long time to talk.
yes, yes it is. So I
He
totally
he
admire him
opened
for.
Jolt. Yes. Was
No,
that
that's Ramon Ray. So he did
why did I make that
no, it
confusion?
he did the talk with the car, the SUV where his wife went in. That's what I remember so much about it because he said they have the best maintained car because at the place where they got it from, I can't remember even the brand he was talking about, but they said they offer doing your nails for free every time you come in and get them. They were like, and he's like, we have the best well-maintained car ever because she is like, I'm taking that thing in because I get my nails done for free. So,
I
but
love
that
it.
was like his wrap up of the speech.
Well, I am horrible with names to the point where a lot of the time I just smile and nod and am
Yeah.
have mastered the when I run into somebody at the event and they're like, Christopher, it's so good to see you. And I'm like, oh, it's so good to see you too,
You're just
person.
like waiting for that time when they like give it to you.
Yeah,
Oh,
just give something. Just give me something. Like
yeah,
most of
I
the
get
time when people tell me they're living person, I have no idea who they are. So, and then I go and look them up, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, I know who that is. But when they say the name, I'm like, okay,
it.
sure,
Great.
yeah. Well, this one might be a little bit easier. What words or phrases do you most overuse?
Dude. And being a mom, excuse me. Now you can say excuse me a million different ways. Like me and my daughter were talking about this the other day. Like I can say, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me, um, excuse me. Like, and they know what I mean. Every different version of
Uh
excuse me.
huh. You could teach a master class just on like the
Oh yes.
delivery of phrases.
Yes. Yes. That tone and that emphasis is really important. But yeah, and then the dude. 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 Dude.
Wow, that's so much better than what my answer to that question would be.
What would your answer be?
I say rad a lot because apparently
Ah.
it's 1985 out here, and I'm like, oh, that's rad. So, and there's
Oh man.
maybe, a little bit of inflection, but it's not like terrific is a word that I can use either way. Like I'll be like, oh, terrific, or I'll be like, terrific.
Yeah.
But rad doesn't really have a negative connotation. It's more of like, oh, that's rad, or oh,
Yeah.
that's rad. So there are levels
Yeah.
of rad, but there's not a negative rad for
Well,
reasons.
it's interesting because my dad, he uses the word interesting and it's like a negative. Like instead it's like,
Oh, really?
oh, that's interesting. And it's like I've just learned over time. It's like, oh, that's not good.
See, now my fiance would say I use that word too much. She's like, I'll say
Ah.
it, and now she started calling me out on it, and she'll be like, is it interesting? And I'll be like, I mean, no.
Yo.
Okay. When and where are you happiest?
When and where? Hmm. Um, where? Well, where? Well, there's a lot of different ways you can do when or where. When I'm watching anime, where my bed.
That
Yeah.
is a solid answer. Yeah.
And both. I do both in my bed watching anime. Legit.
I do see you got the television is perfectly positioned there. So
That's right. Got to, man.
that's awesome. What's a talent that you wish you had, but you do not?
I wish I had.
You're like, that's tough because
Singing.
I'm great at everything. Singing.
No. Singing. I wish I could sing. I just I can so I play a lot of instruments. I was in the marching band and the jazz
Oh,
band and
cool.
all that kind of stuff. Um but I could never, or you know what? Playing by ear. That is a skill
Oh,
I can read sheet music to the day is long. I play piano, all that. Um, but I cannot play by ear. Now, I mean, I guess if I try to develop the skill more, I could. But like in high school and stuff, it's just everybody that could play by ear, they could play the cool songs, and I'm sitting over here playing my little Beethoven. And they're like, who is that? What is that, Patrice? But so yeah, it's
get ready
cool
for
to
some
see.
sick beats. I'm about to drop Beethoven's Fifth on you.
It's cool to see classical getting this a little more time in the spotlight as kind of like classical pianists and stuff are kind of on these like hip hop tracks with
Yeah.
Cardi B and the lady that did her performance there. She got a lot of like followers and popularity from that. So it's cool, but yeah, I wish I could do that, but I can't.
I wish I could really play any instrument. So I
Hmm.
was a percussionist, and
Oh,
that's just like a completely different
man.
world, I feel like. So,
Yeah. Oh man, I wish I could have played. I never could get the drums, like the wrist. I
yeah.
I don't understand, but it's super cool. Of course, in marching band where I went, like, the drum line was like I started off in flute in middle school, and then I went to clarinet. So in the high school, I was doing clarinet, and of course, woodwinds. Nobody cares about the woodwinds, so I switched over to um, I switched over to mellophone, which is a marching French horn, because then I get to stand up in the stand.
Oh, nice.
Well, so um,
The closest I ever got was xylophone,
mm,
which I really enjoyed and was pretty good at, but I really wanted to learn how to play piano later in life. And the problem is I play piano like a xylophone. And, because I'm used to having, a couple of wands
yeah.
in my hand. And, now I'm trying to use all five fingers at the same time. Are you kidding me? So it's just, I don't think it's in the cards. I wanted it to be, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. All right. So other than the shoes, what is your most treasured possession?
I love my car. It is not anything that's like way over the top, but it was it's a Dodge Charger, just 2015, nothing crazy, but it was the
Nice.
first car that I got that I truly wanted, not like this is all I can afford and this is the only thing I'll be able to get. It was like I was like, I want a Dodge Charger. I want it to be black. I want like I got to really like specify exactly what I want, and it was the first purchase of mine that was just like I was able to do that in that kind of freedom, and it
That's
meant a
awesome.
lot.
Yeah.
Because financial. I mean, I've had a kid since 21, so stuff ain't always
Mm-hmm.
been easy. So
Mm-hmm.
that meant a lot to me, and it has shaped from that point how I go about purchasing things. Because up until that point in
Cool.
life, I didn't realize what it felt like to buy something you really wanted. And after understanding what that feels like and the joy you get from it, and the fact that like I still have that car and I still get in it and I'm like, that's my car. Like, I named him T'Challa. And
I like
so
that.
so so yeah, from that point on, it was just like, okay, like I would prefer to make whatever sacrifices need to be made or whatever, or wait, so that I can have the thing I actually want. So that was a big thing for me.
Being a person who loves cars just to a stupid level, I always say that people that are like, oh, a car is a car and it just gets you from here to there and it doesn't matter. I'm like, those people have never been in a great car. They don't
Mm,
know what that experience is when you get in it and you love it and you're like, this is mine.
mm,
And it
yeah,
doesn't have to be expensive. It can be
right.
all across the board. It just a car that you genuinely love. And
Mhm,
I think that's a special feeling. My favorite car commercial that was ever made was by Cadillac like 15 years ago.
mhm,
And the 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 driver, she's listing off a bunch of features in the car, and she's like, it doesn't matter if your car has this or this or this or this or this. The only thing that matters is when you turn your car on, does it return the favor?
mm,
And I was like, damn, that's a good. I've
mm.
shared that commercial with a bunch of people, and they're like, that's kind of a weird thing to say about a car. I'm like, but it's not.
Yeah, but no,
But
it's
it's not.
yeah, yeah, totally.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Completely different flavor question. Who is your favorite author?
I have not had the benefit of reading bunches of books lately, but I'll say the first thing that comes to mind is, even though she's been a lot with the whole, I don't know, whatever, J.K. Rowling, because I love Harry Potter.
Mm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
Harry, like first, I love it so much. Like I introduced my daughter, who's now 13, to it back in I think she was around second grade. So I would read like one chapter a night to her. And eventually too, she picked it up and then she started reading. I think by book 3, she read the whole series herself and has read it over like 2 or 3 times now. But oh man, so many memories from that. And then I'm like super particular, like the movies, no, the books, read the books. Like there's that one. I can't remember which one it was, but like it that didn't happen in the books. I was mad in the movies. It did not happen that way. Like, why are y'all changing up the storyline? Do it. So
You
yeah,
literally
that like
had a roadmap of what you were supposed to do. It's not hard.
not hard. Like I get it, like right, like you only have 2 to 3 hours to pack. You can't pack everything in it, but don't change the story. This,
Mm-hmm.
thi- listen. When it comes to like manga and anime, okay, like this pisses me off, dude. Like you have the framework, mangas right there. One of my favorite manga is Tokyo Ghoul, and he I won't go all into it, but there's this one decision he makes to either go over to the dark side or stay on the light side. In the manga, he stays on the light side. Why in the anime did they make him go to the dark side? You're changing up the story isn't even the same. You're killing me, dude. Like, you're killing me. And now people hate on the anime. Well, you know why? Because that wasn't the story. Dude, if you're an animator, don't make it, dude. That makes me so
mad. I'll skip the question, what angers you the most? You already answered. All right, well, but this does tie in. Who is your absolute hero of fiction?
Now, look, this is one of those things. I don't know why I can't. Fiction is fact, right? Or is it not?
Well, I feel better about confusing the names of speakers earlier. Yeah, fiction would be made up, make believe.
I always get it wrong. Like, my daughter's always like, Mom, why you just can't never remember this? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe because I want to say, man, I don't know. It starts with F. It should be fact. Okay. Let's see. I love me some Stephen King too.
Oh.
Yeah, so I remember reading back when I was probably around my daughter's age, reading a bunch of Stephen King horror stories. Because I was all into horror at that age, like Goosebumps and all that kind of stuff. And of course, you know, like back then I didn't know I was gonna be a creative or anything like that. But my imagination would get the best of me because I would read them Stephen King novels and be scared out of my like so much that I recall being like, okay, I'm gonna have to stop reading these because like I was legit scared. So I love me some Stephen King, but it's hard to read.
I love it. This might be a book movie thing that drives you crazy, but I watched the movie The Shining for the first time when I was in middle school, I want to say. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it kind of starts slow before it gets completely unhinged. And I was sitting there and I was like, when is this going to, you know, like get scary? And they were just like, be patient, be patient. And I kid you not, this is how it played out. We're watching the movie and the person I'm watching it with goes, all right, here it comes. And it was right before everything starts to change in the movie. And the transformer blew in our neighborhood with this loud explosion. And it was already nighttime. And all the power went out. Just, you know, boom. And we're sitting in total darkness. And I'm like, oh my God. What?
No, dude. No. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. See, I
never been the same since.
Yeah. So, certainly with scary movies, like I cannot watch them without my fiance. Like it's an absolute no go. I mean, I'm talking about I would be the one like coming home and be like, put the sofa up against the door just in case, you know, just in case so nobody comes in. Like the thing that like got me the most is have you ever seen this movie called The Strangers? Okay. Oh my God.
I have not seen a scary movie for over a decade, which I'll explain in a moment. But go ahead.
Okay. So The Strangers really like it's that weird thing where it's like, you know, the movie is not, they gotta add movie magic to it, whatever, but it's based on a real story. And it's something that's like they're in a house. It's not like, you know, they drove out to some like super remote, like okay, y'all about to die, like, but it was in just a regular neighborhood.
Oh, nope.
I was
I'm out.
like,
I'm out.
and the people, the villains or whatever in there, they have masks on the whole time, not like just like the ski mask, but like these look like a pig or whatever the whole time. And that played with me because it's like you never even saw them.
You never saw him. Yeah.
You never even. And then at the end, it goes. And it was a family too. It was a mom, a dad, and like a teenager. They just came up to this random house and absolute terror on this couple. And like at the end, they drive away and they get out the car, and the teenage daughter still with the mask on. I don't know. I can't remember if she was getting something out the trunk or whatever, but the mom comes over still with the mask and says, "Don't worry, you'll get used to it."
Oh, damn.
I can't. Oh, I can't. Mm-mm.
Okay, so the last scary movie I saw in a theater was called The Ring. I don't know if you saw it, but okay, so yeah. And there's this list of images that you see before you die, and the last one is The Ring, right? Okay, so, and if you remember, like the television comes on and like static, and then like the girl crawls out of the TV. Okay, so this is a true story. This is what happened to me the night I saw the movie when I got home. I pull into the driveway and I get out of the car, and there's a ladder leaning against our house. I don't know why. Wasn't there when I left, but that was one of the things that you see is a ladder leaning up against a house. And so I'm like, what a coincidence. So it was still living at home at the time. It was early college. And I'm like, that's funny. So I go inside and I go in and I get a glass of water in the kitchen, and I walk up to the sink, and there's a fly buzzing around the drain of the sink, which was also one of the images. And while I'm standing there looking down at that going, what another coincidence, the television in the kitchen turns on.
No!
To static. Like it just goes clink. And I'm standing there and I'm like, I don't want to turn around. I don't want to turn around. And it literally took me like a minute to get up the courage to just turn around and walk over and turn off the television. And I remember just talking about my parents later, and they're like, oh yeah, we've been trying to figure out why this TV's been doing that for a while. And I'm like, okay. So I'm 22. I slept on the floor in the hallway outside my parents' room because I was terrified. Like they lived upstairs. So it was like, it was a 2-story house with a basement, right? So they slept upstairs. And my room was down in the basement. So I went upstairs, laid down on the floor with a couch pillow and just slept. I didn't really sleep, but that's where I spent the night.
Dude, that is crazy because I have not a similar experience with those the images, but after The Ring, when I came home, I had a TV in my room at the time, and I was like, absolutely not. I slept in the bed with my parents. I was like, I can't. I was like, y'all just gonna let me sleep right in the middle. My daddy said, you better not ever go to any scary movies again. I was horrified.
I didn't. That was it. That was the last time. Never again.
I cannot. That stop action stuff too. I can't. No. Wow.
Well, since we're sort of on the topic, when the time comes, how do you want to die?
Oh, wow. that is just like, I would hope it's like quick and like, can we just be like an asteroid drop? Like, you're not gonna feel nothing. Like, it's just like 1 minute you there, the next minute like you go. Like, I and not to get like super deep and serious, but like my mom, she passed away a couple years ago, and she had Alzheimer's, and it is the worst thing to watch, like a
Yeah.
loved one go through that. And it's just, I was just like, I was literally stuck between like, I want her to still be here, also don't want her to go through any of this either. Like, it's the
Right. Yeah.
most like horrible thing for anybody to go through. And I'm just like, I would not want to go out like that. I'm almost like, hey man, dog, it stick me. Like, get like, I don't like, can we write that in my will or something? Because I don't want to go out like that. Like, I'm just like, you you can't think for you, like you regress back into being a child, and then and
Mm-hmm.
someone who was so sharp, so bright, so like very meticulous. My mom was very meticulous about her image and like the way she talked, and to watch her just be like that
Just
was
go.
horrid.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was like, it was weird. It was this weird guilt. Like, well, I shouldn't want her to be gone, right? But like, God, do I wanna keep like looking at her be so much of a way she wouldn't want? And there would be these things dang, I'm getting all super deep, but it would be these like moments in which she would kind of like come back.
Yeah.
And I remember one time she said, I don't want to do this. And it was just like, oh,
Mm.
like, like, and I knew that was her. I knew that was her
Yeah.
talking, but like, I don't know. So it comes that like time of like, you know, at what point are we just trying to like keep people here for our
Right.
like selfish purposes or whatever, but like they would probably prefer to be gone, So for me,
I
it's
think
like
I
that.
think that's what we all want is quick. We want it to just be quick. Like I hope the end of my story was one adventure too many. You didn't make it back from that hike or whatever dumb
Yeah.
thing I was doing. Like, you know, at his age,
Yeah.
that was not wise. Like, well, nope, gone.
Yeah, like definitely that. I don't, the prolonged thing. I
Yeah,
don't.
no,
No,
no
I don't
long
know.
goodbyes. No.
No. Mm-mm.
Well, last question. We'll end with something positive, maybe. Um, what is your motto in life?
My motto in life. God, this is gonna sound super cliche, but um, I do what I love, and I love what I do. So,
Outstanding. I don't
so
think you can ask for
I
more.
just, yes, I just really like, that's how I found like creative, and where I
Yeah.
ride my line and my standards of quality and all of that kind of stuff. And it just, when you do things that you love doing, I'm not gonna say, never work a day of your life or none of that, but it's just because it's not always,
Yeah, you do.
like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like you do. But at least you know that, like, the passion that you have inside of you to do that thing, that is what you're doing. And then for me to help other people out, so I will get a little serious for a second, because for me, Black female, I've never once worked with another Black designer, not
Hmm.
once. um it's something that like I kind of fell into. Like, it is not something that is like one of those things that you know about growing up. And so whenever I do come across other Black females that are interested in design, I really talked to them about my experience and how it went and what you really need to be, successful and to, get the audiences of people that don't look like you because it's a
Yeah.
real thing, right? Um, so that's part of that love and passion for me is having the courage to do something that a lot of people don't really understand, um, and then sticking to it and being successful at it.
I love that. Really. And
Thank you.
perfect way to wrap up this absolutely fantastic conversation. So thank you so much for
Thank you for having me.
this. And it was a pleasure to get to have this conversation together.
Always.